Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. I'm your host, Veena, and today is a special episode where we are going to talk to three founders who have come together to create something special. Baiju, a performance psychologist and tech innovator, Sunny Vara, a cybersecurity expert, and Sachin Parmar, who is a branding and marketing specialist adopting AI in his business. So before we start, I'm going to get you all to introduce yourselves. So Baiju, can we start with you?
Yeah, thank you, Veena. So my name is Baiju Solanki. I'm a performance psychologist and tech innovator. A lot of the work that I do is around leadership and helping leaders adapt to their world and the focus on self-leadership. There's a lot of leadership programs out there. It's about how do you lead and manage other people. But my focus is all about, well, how do you show up for yourself within the context of how helping others to be inspired? And also, I'm a very tech enthusiast. I've got a tech company as well. And a lot of my work is around, with AIs moving so fast nowadays, is how do we as humans adapt? You know, the one who survives the most is the one who adapts, not necessarily the one with the most resources or the most money. So that's my focus.
Nice, thank you. And Sunny?
Hi, thank you, Veena. So I'm Sunny Vara. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Cybersecurity Group. So I've been living and breathing data protection, cybersecurity, and AI enablement for the last 20 years. So I'm a trusted advisor to small, medium, and large organizations all throughout the UK, Europe, and UAE. And I regard myself as a kind of an advocate of AI and helping organizations through what good looks like as well. So I'm looking forward to today as well, Veena.
Thank you. And yourself, Sachin?
Hi, Veena. Thanks for having me on. My name's Sachin Parmar. I'm the creative director and founder of a brand called Graphic Kitchen. We specialize in branding and marketing for restaurants and hotels. And this derived from a passion since 2006 of just wanting to help businesses create brands and get more bums and seats and heads in beds.
Nice. Like the sound of that. Okay, so the three of you, tell me why you've all come together and what have you created?
So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So as you heard, we're all in different spaces. I'm in the leadership space, tech space. Sunny's in the cybersecurity space, and Sachin in the branding space. But I come up with this idea. I wrote a book last year called Humanity's Edge. It's about how we build high-performing teams in the age of AI. If you look at the history of time, is those who survive is those who adapt to change. The difference this time is when tractors were coming to the fore, is that tractors came and we had to adapt, but there was no other technology that followed that allowed us to adapt to tractors, if you like. But nowadays with AI, you could be working on something on a Monday, and by Wednesday it's out of date. So the speed of change around this age of AI is too fast for the human mind to catch up. So I wanted to understand can we ignore this? Can we ignore the AI technology? Can we ignore the security element? Can we ignore how businesses like Sachin runs a marketing and branding business? He's had to adapt his business. So I've created an event called Scale Game, where it's a collective, and I want to bring three experts, us three together, and it's about how businesses and leaders and entrepreneurs can start to change their mindset, adapt their leadership, to not just embrace AI, but embrace a new way of thinking so we're not left behind. The primary question is this, is my job going to be replaced by AI? No. Your job's going to be replaced by someone who can use AI better than you. And that's the premise of what we're talking about.
So how does Sunny come into this event?
Well, Sunny is a cybersecurity expert. Now think about this, right? As soon as you put anything online, it goes somewhere. Now, Sunny's the expert there. When it goes somewhere, do you know where it goes? And does it go somewhere where potentially it can be hackable? And how do you protect yourself against that? And that's where Sunny comes into it.
So Sunny, what are you going to be telling us, teaching us at this event?
Lots, hopefully. So from my perspective, as Baiju says, we're all founders here, right? And we're all, own our businesses. We're embracing AI as founders. What concerns me is all of us have got this one trait around, we're all about scale, we're all about speed. And we're embracing AI at scale and at speed as well. And what I'm talking about is there's a huge invisible risk here around the exposure of that data that we're actually giving away free. So I'm talking about how you can actually maintain a business, at scale, at speed, but making sure that you're actually putting the guardrails in place to be able to embrace AI safely, securely, efficiently, and in a compliant manner as well, to make sure that trust within your businesses, with your customers, is still maintained.
Thank you. And Sachin, how do you come into it?
So, running an agency with quite a few staff, I've had to kind of adapt and change, and because AI has got rid of a lot of the noise now. So there was, if we go back to, let's say 30 years ago when there was agencies, there was only a few big agencies and they were really creative. And then we had this bubble burst of internet. Everybody started making websites. But what AI has done now is got rid of all that noise and is bringing it back to the creators who got the ideas. And the reason I come into play is I'm using a lot of tools now. And as an example, illustrations, you don't need an illustrator anymore. People are going to hate me for this, but you can use AI models now to create illustrations for you to put into menu designs. So the output I want for the client is the same. And ultimately, I save time, the client saves money, and the output is what I wanted anyway. And the reason we're together is everything starts with mindset. Of course, you need to be very, very secure because people don't know. They might have the same. How many times has somebody got a password and using the same password in every single software that they're using? Everybody can, everyone can connect in that way. But the most important thing is, all right, you got the mindset, you got the security, but how do you now use AI tools, but not like a child?
Not like a child. So it's not just ChatGPT then?
No, it's not. So people, I think they don't understand how to put the right AI tools into place to help their business. And if you think about Generation Alpha, 11 to 18-year-olds, they are using AI as natural. I gave my child, if I showed my child a DVD or a VHS, they're like, what is this? So they're coming into the world. They're going to be our future leaders. And what people don't understand right now, especially in hospitality, is where I specialize, is AI is taking over so much and so quickly, people can't keep up with it. But they're spending so much time putting the wrong tools, and then they absolutely forget about, and they don't really like the tools. They don't understand the tools, and then disregard it, and then say, I hate AI. And one thing I've heard, people say, I don't believe in AI. And my question is, but AI isn't a religion. It's here to stay. So how can you say, I don't believe in AI? We've been using AI for such a long time. Predictive text, as an example. We've had it since the Nokia 3210 it was there, right? Yeah. And that's showing my age now. But even to this day, we're using it without even knowing.
It's like saying you don't believe in AI. It's like, I don't believe in electricity. Or I don't believe in Wi-Fi, right? There's two things there that we can't physically see until it's plugged into something. That's the same as AI. And although AI's come to our fore because of ChatGPT, allowed the layperson to use a technology and they put something in and all of a sudden it looks like it's thinking, it's talking to you. And I'm like, oh my God. But AI's been in operation for years. Think about, when Facebook and Instagram, how many times have we spoken? I think all of a sudden this post comes out that I've been speaking about it. That's some AI technology behind it. So ChatGPT has brought it to the fore. One thing I want to say is, like, as you say, we will come together for this event in March. So if you're watching this after March, watch out. This event is going to be a regular occurrence called Scale Your Game. And the idea is that in order for you to scale as an individual or as a business, you can't ignore AI, you can't ignore the security, or you can't ignore adaptation. And that's what we're doing.
So the next one's on the 5th of March.
Yes, it's actually our inaugural first one, right? And it's like something where, through a conversation with Sunny and Sachin, that I was thinking about doing stuff. And originally it was going to be about leadership and mindset. But we realized, well, yes, that is so important, but you can't ignore the security. You can't ignore how you adapt to businesses. And although Sachin's focus is around hospitality, the way he's adapted his branding business is a model of how other business needs to adapt. And that's why we're bringing this event together. And if you're a leader, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone that knows that your business is going to be impacted by AI, come along. If you're someone that offers a service or product that you think, actually, how do I need to evolve my product or service? That means my customers stay with me and don't go elsewhere. That's an event for you.
Okay, so Beju, how do leaders nowadays have to adapt in the age of AI to stay ahead of the game?
So as we sort of talked about, AI is here to stay, right? It's like, think about electricity and Wi-Fi. How many times have you been in a situation where the electricity's gone? You're like, I'm lost. When your router goes and your Wi-Fi doesn't go, what happens? You're lost.
The world is ended.
The world's
ended. No Wi-Fi, you can't do anything.
Can you imagine right now if WhatsApp went down?
Yeah.
Right? If WhatsApp went down, it's like the whole world so we're so reliant on some things that are automatic. It's the same with AI. So the key is that let's take it from a macro level, from the highest level. If you're a business owner, whatever business you're in, you've got to ask yourself, how do I make my business? Two questions you ask yourself. How can I make my internal operation of my business more efficient? From an admin point of view, raising invoices, running my team. First question. The second question to ask is, right, based on the product and the service I have, how do I now serve my customers differently, right? Ask the question to your customers, what works, what doesn't work. And if you're not sure about those questions, you need to be coming into these environments. Do we have all the answers? No. However, we probably got one or two more questions that someone else doesn't, but to get the answers, asking those questions. So it's not about coming to us and saying, like, we're the oracle. We're not at all. We're learning as you go along. But it's like, what questions are we being forced to ask in this age of AI? Because this is here to stay. We're in it. There's times in the past we go, oh, the future. We're in the future. 2026 is the future, and that's where we're living in.
And it's quite interesting you said that, because if you go back to watching Steven Spielberg films, Star Wars, and even Tron, I watched it on the weekend, right? And it was amazing because we're actually in it. Flying cars, obviously cars aren't flying, but they are flying in Dubai. We got electric cars, Demolition Man driving around. So like all of this, we're there.
You're
and it's
like
Marvel,
these. You're proper Marvel.
Yeah, I'm Marvel. Yeah, definitely not DC. But the thing is AI is changing so quickly, and people are so scared of implementing it. They just don't know what to do, and they're lost. And this is why we want to give everybody the tool set and the mindset. But it all starts with the mindset. And
I want to ask for Sonny, because you deal with, like, you go into businesses to talk about cybersecurity, right? You're talking with leaders. They come to you with a conversation around security, but what's their attitude in terms of adopting this? Are they scared and saying, look, we need to talk to you first? Or they adopt it and say, oh, we've adopted it, now what?
Yeah, I think there's an element of curiosity, and everything that you both have been just talking about, I've been actively listening, and for me, one of the key things here is education. I think, in the age that we're living in, 2026 today, there is a lot of social media FOMO at the moment as well. How many times have you gone on social media and this is the next best widget and the LLM that you should be using? And so I think as founders especially, we're all actually have got that FOMO to actually go at scale, at that speed, and go head first into it, which is great. But I think what's happening in my world is you're playing right into the cyber attackers. Yeah, the hackers are just watching us. And that psychological aspect is something I talk about a lot, where that FOMO leads to us diving into the next shiny tool. I mean, only last week, we've had this Claude bot.
Yeah, Claude bot, wow.
I mean, that's major. In my world at the moment, it's 1000x the level of cybersecurity attacks that are waiting to actually happen as well. And, just kind of speaking to my team today, and we're all over this, education is key. We're educating ourselves at the moment before we use any of these tools. But the number one thing that we're learning at the moment is you've got not just a ChatGPT agent, you've got agent talking to agents, and they've actually created their own social media platform.
That was Clawbot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Yeah, it's massive, and this is why I talk about, for leaders, going back to your question, it's really important that we have a bit of patience. Yeah, slow down. All right, and I think for me, it's about educating yourselves as leaders around what are you actually using here, and as you were saying, Beju, there's lots of use cases to make your business a lot more safe, secure, efficient, all that kind of stuff as well. But I personally don't even talk about these agents until I know. I mean, I spend probably 2, 3, 4, 5 months just learning about these LLMs before I even go out there and talk about it. And what worries me at the moment is that businesses today have gone in because of that social media FOMO and started to put personal, sensitive, commercial information into these LLMs. And as you were saying earlier, they don't really know where that information's going. And as ethical hackers, what we do to educate founders is we actually, with their consent obviously, we show them exactly what information's available on the dark web. And I think that's why we should all, as leaders, take stock, pause. Whatever you're using at the moment, absolutely fine, but there's almost a stepped process that you need to go through to be able to kind of use AI in a safe, secure ethical way. And the biggest frustration I get is, and again, this is AI as a root cause, is when people have put personal and sensitive and commercial information on there and they've been cyber attacked. Too late.
I've heard a case where I speak to a friend and she was saying some of her friends weren't contacting her, and they're just in their sort of girly group, and she goes, one of them is literally every morning ChatGPT is her friend. It's like their, you know, their little dog. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing well. And it gives them affirmations. Oh, you're doing really great today. You're doing well. Oh, are you feeling down today? Oh, let's talk about it. And literally it's their mate. It's their first port of call. But like you say, is as we put stuff in there, you're saying that goes to, maybe if that goes to a dark web, all of a sudden, if a hacker feels like I'm going to use that against you, that's a possibility.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Look, I myself, you know, and my daughter, my wife, and my family use AI, but there's a safe and secure way of doing that as well. I mean, you know, one of the tips I've got here is if you use the free versions, etc., it's free for a reason. That information is machine learning from you. You know, it's using that data. I mean, look, before the AI enigma, you know, Google, you know, Web 2.0, Web 1.0, whatever you want to call it, Google was free because it wanted your data. AI is going through the same thing, guys. It really is. And I think for me, this is why we should all pause, take stock, embrace AI, but do it in a logical way that you would actually kind of think on a personal level. I mean, I always say in these circumstances, you know, when I talk about cybersecurity, which I've been living and breathing for the last 20 years, I talk about having the foundations of your house. Yeah. So number one thing that you can actually buy on the dark web today is people's Wi-Fi passwords. All right. So you can have all the systems and all that protecting your personal sensitive data. But if I've got access to your front door, I'm coming into your house, your digital house. All right. So what I'm saying in the AI world now is that, yes, all of us need to build up our AI houses. Yeah. I mean, we're at CyberSea. What we're doing is for businesses, we're building AI operating systems. And what I mean by that is I'll come to your business, for example, Beju, and you'll be using all these AI bots and LLMs, etc. What we're looking to do is make sure that you've got a solid foundation for your AI house. All right. And then what we do is just make sure we'd have the layered approaches to make sure that you, your family, your business is protected, because that's what it's about.
And the event we're running is allowing people to come into a conversation so they can ask these questions. You know, I'm sure there's, like, you're going to watch this on video, YouTube, or whatever it is, and there's many, many other YouTube videos always giving you the sort of answer. But I think what Sunny said there is very considered, whereby, yes, use it, but slow down in terms of your adoption, because yes, it is going fast, but sometimes you go slow to go fast. Right, and that's the idea, right? And part of the reason for me to create this event is I think there needs to be a dialogue in real time, because there's so much online that people can come and ask the questions they may be afraid to ask online, so they can benefit themselves.
So I would call that the pause, reset, and reflect.
Love that.
Yeah,
I hope you got that.
And so when I built my first website in 2006, as an example, and did the branding and everything that goes with it, the dwell time on a website was 1.5 minutes.
Explain the dwell time to people.
So dwell time is how long somebody spends on a website before they take action. So they're going around reading it and so on. So the job was how do we keep people on the website for longer? Lots of pages, lots of information. Do you know what it is now? You got 3 to 15 seconds to grab someone's attention for them to take action, or they're going somewhere else. And why is that? We have these little beautiful things in our hands, smartphones. They're like mini computers. You probably heard of that terminology, doom scrolling, and everybody does it. They're watching a TV show, they're doom scrolling at the same time, and this is the mindset that's changing. People are so used to taking all this information in, and AI is learning. So right now, if we all took our phones out and we looked at Instagram, we're all going to see different adverts. Why is that? Because the AI is listening to us, and it's machine learning everything we're doing. So like Sunny said, obviously Instagram, Facebook, they're all free tools. And that's why Instagram have launched a paid tool as well. But because we are feeding all this information, it's basically learning so much from us. And that's the new commodity, is data.
Data, which is the ultimate commodity, is attention. Because can I use that data to grab your attention? Yeah. And the more I can keep your attention, whether that's on a page, on a reel, on something, there's more likely you to do the thing I want you to do. Press the button.
You have 3 to
Go for that
15
thing.
seconds, like you just said.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Sunny, when you look at founders and leaders right now, what's the biggest invisible risk you think most of them are underestimating?
Yeah, good question, Veena. Thank you for the question, actually. So from my perspective, the biggest invisible risk is around people don't realize how hackable they are. And I think, everything that Beju and Sachin have been saying today, for me, I absolutely agree with. Yes, we're using all these LLMs, so large language models. We're adopting the shiny products, etc. We're wanting to scale our business very quickly. We're creating websites and apps on things like Lovable. Great, absolutely great. But what people don't realize is how they're compromising themselves as individuals, their families, and their business as well. And I talk a lot about, so we at CyberSea provide trusted advisor services. And what I genuinely mean by that is, we're about building businesses around their trust. All right. People come to you because they love your branding. Yeah. They trust you because of your branding. People love yourself because of your coaching, amongst other things as well. Your tech as well. But just imagine if that invisible risk that you're aware of how much you're compromising yourselves as individuals, your family, and your customers, that trust will erode straight away. Yeah. And that's a reputational damage as well. And this is why I talk about we all as founders need to have, to mitigate that invisible risk, the unknown, should we say, is to take stock. What did you say? Pause, reset?
Pause, reflect, reset.
Pause, reflect, and reset. I love that. And I'm going to nick that one, actually.
That's right. Don't worry, it's been copyrighted now.
PRR.
Yeah.
PRR.
No, I love that. And then that's for me, is a fantastic way of just within yourself, understanding, what are we actually trying to do with AI? All right. And there's so many use cases that we can benefit ourselves, our family, and our businesses. But the invisible risk is around getting caught up in that FOMO. All right. And, wanting to do the next thing really quick, fast. But the key thing here is, for me, what I do with my clients is we help them to pause and almost to kind of take stock. And to basically, work with these type of guys who are kind of all about efficiencies and increasing their ROI and all that stuff as well, to do things in a safe, secure, compliant, and ethical way as well. And these are like, little tick boxes where if you haven't got depth and breadth around these areas, you're asking for trouble.
Can I ask you? You run a couple of businesses. You're pretty perfect, and you do other things. You do the podcast, and you're very active in social. From someone who's running those things, when you look at the stuff that we talked about, AI, what sort of questions, what sort of things come in your head? Because what you're thinking, maybe what our audience are thinking.
It's quite scary, some of the things Sunny said. It's like, what? They can get all that information about you. And I've got friends who, they're literally in a relationship with ChatGPT. They ask them everything. My boyfriend did this, and my mother-in-law said this. What do you think? And again, they're just learning so much personal information. Or my child at school did this, or they're showing this behaviour. And they're just getting all that information about you.
And imagine, Veena, that getting into the wrong hands. Yeah. I've seen, day on day, people approach me and they get compromised by this type of information getting out into the ether as well. And this is why I talk about, really, really being careful, doing that education around the types of apps that you're using, and think about where that information is actually going. It really is important as well, because cybercrime for me, over the last 5-10 years, it's just gone through the roof. I mean, if cybercrime was a country, I always talk about this. First of all, you've got the economy of China, the US, and then you've got cybercrime. All right. Now, for me, cybercrime with AI, with individuals and businesses putting all this personal and sensitive and commercial information in there, we're walking into the hands of the hackers who are going to use that information against you. All right. Now, this is not scaremongering or anything like that. This is about really standing up and being honest with ourselves and looking after the kind of legacy that we want to leave as well. But all that information, I tell my own daughter this as well, and she uses ChatGPT, for example, for the right reasons. But what I talk to children of her age, so she's 12, is that's going to be your future CV. Yeah. Anything that you're putting out there on social media, ChatGPTs of this world, and again, I'm not a hater of AI. I'm not. I embrace AI. Right? Yeah. So let me make that clear as well. But for me, it's about just being mindful of our reputation. That there's going to be judgment from these tools that we're using as well.
Of course, there is, yeah.
And so yeah, that's what I've got to say on that, because for me, it does frustrate me, as I've had 20 years worth of experience around the cyber world. I mean, I got into cyber from being a victim to fraud. That's how I got into it. So there's an emotive nature to this as well, where and for AI, it's 1000x the cyber crime that is about to happen.
You said about how some of your friends use ChatGPT as their best friend. As a businesswoman, what sort of questions have you got in your head in terms of AI and efficiencies and how you serve your clients?
So sometimes, like you said, FOMO earlier, like I might see an app online and think, oh, that salon's using that. Maybe I should be using that as well. So you start asking questions, and then it needs to know more. What's your turnover? What are you doing? What's your customer database like? So you start feeding it all this information, hoping it's going to give you the answer whether you should use the same as the salon down the road. So yeah, we feed it information that we probably don't need to share with them.
We're all caught up in it, right? All of us are. Me included. I'm so conscious of that as well, and this is why we're holding this event to educate the founders that we're very close to as well, and to kind of impart this amazing knowledge. And like Beju said, we haven't got all the answers here, but what we're really trying to do is just if they can pick up some golden nuggets from these gents, and the risk side that I'm talking about. I'm obviously thinking that the stuff that I'm talking about is not the sexy bit of AI. I get that, but someone needs to be talking about it.
And look, ultimately, we live in that world where you see someone online and it's all like glamorous. Oh my God, they're amazing. But people forget about how hard it was for them to get to that point of greatness. And that's the background story nobody understands, because we live in a society now where everybody wants instant gratification. And it's a job of a marketeer to give you that instant gratification. So you might see this AI advert and you think, oh my, this is amazing, I want to do it. You fill it in, and then you see another one that's similar. Oh, this one does something a little bit better. But it's a marketeer's job to get you to do that. And sometimes, this has happened to me as well. I've gone on there, I've seen this amazing top or jumpers, I really like this, end up buying it from Instagram, and it never arrived. Because this is coming straight from China, and they've set up the whole AI algorithm and stuff to capture your data, but you never get the product. So you can see how people are getting fished into it, and how they're getting, I would say, catfished into buying something, or even putting the information in there. And then once it's there, it's gone. I remember there was one instance where I set up an Etsy account. As soon as I set it up, this person started contacting me and saying, can you send me some money because I can do X, Y, Z? I was like, I'm not doing that. This sounds weird. Why? I've just literally just set it up. How can you do this? And people are falling for it. And there's actually the one thing that's affecting is the elder generation, because they're built on trust, phone calls, and people are now, AI is now phoning people. So this is the things that you got to really be careful of. And the bottom line is, whatever you do in business, personal life, you have to work hard. There's no way you're going to make loads of money just instantly and wake up. And the reason I'm saying this is, people who have been successful, they've worked goddamn hard to get there, and they've had the right people around them. And it's all about the mindset, the security. It's like just basically having everything in place and working hard to get to where you want to be.
I also want to point out is we three are speaking at the event, but there's another lady, Manisha Goel, who's also speaking at the event, and she used to work, I think, one of the big four, but she's really, her take on AI is fantastic, because she goes from the point of view all this LM, but she brings it down to practical tools of how we can use it every day. So she's going to be speaking about how we can start creating workflows, very simple ones, AI agents, very simple ones, and using ChatGPT, Claude, all these tools that we can get an immediate impact to that, with the knowing what Sunny talks about in security, how you can caveat that, but also get an immediate impact. So she's going to be speaking at the event as well.
I've seen Manisha on social media. She is really good. And she makes it simple. So you've got a lady with you as well on the day.
Absolutely. There's money.
So Sachin, how has AI changed branding and marketing services? And how have you adapted your agency as a result?
So the way that it's changed my industry is it's got rid of the fluff and it's helping the clients give me their ideas. So for example, the hardest thing is getting a brief from a client, but they just can't explain what they want. So I asked them, why don't you have a go in these programs and play around with it? Give me some ideas, some color palettes, something that you like, and then send it to me and then I can polish it off, because then we're both getting to the finished product quicker. And by implementing these tools, it just helped me a lot more. There's a lot more efficiency in place now. And I'm not having to get people that aren't that creative, because AI is filling that gap, which wasn't there before. And the way I'm using all of these tools is just simplifying my whole process from beginning to end.
So how long have you been doing this?
So I have been designing and branding since 2006, for about 30 years.
Because everyone thinks they can just do it all themselves now, right?
Of course, but then end of the day, everybody wants to be creative. It doesn't matter. Look, you're either creative or you're not, right? But some people, they want to get creative and do stuff themselves. There's nothing wrong with it, but then they will need someone with experience to kind of put it together. So sometimes I've seen branding where I can see the spacing hasn't been done correctly on the typography, and I can pick that up straight away and I can tell this hasn't been done with someone with typography skills. So what AI has now done is got rid of all the people who don't really understand, who got the learning from the foundation of doing this from before iPhones launched, because I've been designing brands before then. It just really helped get rid of all the fluff, and it's actually made my life a lot easier, and it's giving back the time to do the things I love, is to actually create. I hate doing Excel sheets. Sometimes explain to a client, this is the way I've done the branding, the reason. It can take an hour explaining in an email, because the client says, can you just send this to me in an email? By putting my thoughts down, and obviously you can't let AI do the thinking for you. You got to give it the information for it to just polish it off. And what's helped me, I'll do a design, put my information on, these are my thoughts, and you just help me structure it out.
One thing I like about Sachin's attitude, right, is as a branding, marketing designer at trade, and when you see things like Canva and you see other apps whereby all of a sudden you can just give a little bit of a text and it comes out with this logo and colors, and you think, wow, he should be angry, he should be really upset, it's going to take my job. But the way he explains it, he goes, actually right now, is you might want to redesign your business and you've got a different logo. You could talk to it, put it in the thing, and it gives him that's what you're thinking. And then where your creativeness in terms of understanding how the fonts and the colors work, the way you've adapted it's not going to take over my job, but the way you're looking at it is, because you are embracing all these tools, is you're going to be ahead over the other branding specialists and the graphic designers, because they're thinking, what's the point of me, because you can design a logo, and my thing was about designing logo. And what you said, I spoke to you last week, is the creativity of this, and this is what I talk about, is our edge as humans, is the way we think, right? From a leadership point of view, how we listen, how we communicate, how we self-lead, and how we hold accountable. From a creative point of view, it gives you that thinking about, does that color work? Does the font work? Does the whole message, does the promise of the brand work? Because you're talking about that as opposed to, trying to get out of their head what they need, which I think is really good. And the thing is, with the security stuff, is you're doing all that, guys. Are you safe? Is there trust? And that's why the free legs work really well.
All right, Beju, so what can people expect from your event?
So it's a one-day intensive, and myself, Sunny, Sachin, and Manisha will be talking. And the idea of that is take people on the journey. And the journey is if you think about history, in history, things change all the time. And I'm going to talk about how as humans we've adopted the change. And when we've adopted the change, there's an output. The difference now is the speed of change is very different. And the accessibility of the changes is actually available to anyone. So before, unless you were part of a certain social group, if you were part of a certain environment, you didn't have access to certain technology or certain infrastructure. Right now, if you've got a phone, if you've got Wi-Fi, you can access everything. There's nothing stopping you accessing all the stuff that we've got. But do you know what to do with it? right? You'll be able. So what happens is you access this stuff, Claude, ChatGPT, Gamma, Lovable, all these tools, because you've got access to it as long as you've got Wi-Fi. You use it, and then it's coming to me, and then you'll either do one or two responses. No, it's just too much, and you go back to what you're doing, and then you're left behind. Or you're thinking, actually, where do I need to use? So what we're going to do at the event is give people, actually, forget about the tool. It's not about the tool. What's the challenge? What's the problem within your business or life you have right now that you think tech could solve it, but you don't know how? That's the question to ask. Because you might say, I want to be able to, I run a scaffolding business, right? I want to be able to, when I get a lead, the biggest thing I need to know is the square footage of the building, right? And the distance and how long they need it. And it's really hard. So I want to be able to say, can you take a photograph of your building, right? Then I've got a tool that allows me to scan the building and know exactly how much scaffold you need. I just made that up. It's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think about it? Right?
Yeah, but that's the feat. That's gonna.
So scaffold, I say the biggest issue is from the point of lead to giving a quote is massive. It takes 2 or 3 days because they don't give us the right information. And right now we can create an app that does a 3D scan of the building. I get the 3D scan within an hour. I can give you a quote. Now the scaffolder's thinking, oh my God, really? So all of a sudden, forget about the tool. Forget about what AI does. Is come along with your questions. What's the challenge or problem you have within life or business that you feel, can tech solve it? I don't know if it can. Come and ask the question.
£60 billion worth of lost revenue is due to missed calls. And why do I say that? How many times have you gone to a restaurant and they don't have a phone number? How many times have you called a restaurant and no one picks up? That's frustrating, isn't it? So we actually developed an AI tool where you ring the restaurant, it sends you a text message back saying, sorry, we missed your call, how can we help? Takes you through that process. And this is what business, and this is where the AI comes into play. And it's about having these little tools, because coming back to what Beju said, that might be the one cause that you lose in revenue. And have you actually tracked how many missed calls you get? I've had clients, we never miss a call in our life. Put the system in place, they're missing 600 calls a month.
It's like, I know you've got like a phone it's a business phone, isn't it? So if you want to book, you got your personal phones, but you've got a business phone. And I know between you and the other clinicians, you'd have to take the calls. Now imagine if for one reason or another, you can't take the call, that as soon as it goes to the third ring, for example, if it's not answered, the recipient gets a text, hey, we received your call, we got your call, can't answer at the moment, but however, if you just send a text now what you're looking for, we can see. That's available right now.
And that ties down to instant gratification. Like I said earlier, you want to contact someone, you just want to be acknowledged. Or like someone sent you an email. I sent you an email yesterday. Why haven't you got back to me? I am going to get back to you, but I've been busy, and I hate the word busy. But
that's why Uber works, right? So the thing with Uber, what they solved is the problem of you knowing how long the taxi is, right? So you ring a taxi, it's going to be 15 minutes, the guy says, right? And then it doesn't turn up, right? And the non-knowing, but when you order a taxi, if you say, even if it says 25 minutes, oh God, it's too long, knowing gives you satisfaction, right? The fact that it's 25 minutes, okay, great. I can then choose to use that 25 minutes in a certain way, but not knowing creates a sunk cost whereby I'm invested this time that I don't know what to use, because they might be in 5 minutes. I don't want to start this email, but no, it's 25 minutes. Okay, I tolerate that. Now I can do this bit of work. So there's, like you say, there's an instantaneous way that AI can solve little psychological triggers that make you feel, oh. And when someone feels, oh, it's a game changer. And imagine in business that you feel, I've been heard from this business, right? It works really well. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think from my perspective, the value that people are going to get at this workshop is, amongst all the fantastic use cases that you both are talking about, is the assurance and the comfort around implementing AI, where you've got some sort of confidence around what you're doing. And for me, this is about kind of almost implementing AI, but around your family, yourself, and your business. Really, really important. We these three go hand in hand for me as well. We're all working from home, right? And we're implementing AI onto our machines, but then your kids are on Roblox, etc. as well. And guess what? Cyber attacker's dream. It really is, absolutely. So what I want to give from a value perspective, amongst the fantastic use cases that you both are going to be talking about, is a staged, simple process, little steps that you can actually put in place to have assurance, to be able to sleep better at night, knowing that your family, yourself, and your business are going to be safe and secure from an AI implementation perspective. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it's going to be great. And people, again, also, if you're watching this before March, come along to the event. If this is after March, check out the website because there'll be other events coming up. They're going to be walking away with practical things as well, right? What proper prompts to use in ChatGPT or Claude in terms of, and how to create prompts. Because sometimes we create a prompt and it's like, S in, S out, right? You go, whatever you put in there, you want to get better at. So how do you create a proper prompt? And I think Manish is going to be talking about workflows and agents in that context. Also, there's a lot of semantics. Like if someone says AI agent, AI workflow, do they really truly understand the difference between these things? We talk about ChatGPT. It's like part of our vocabulary now, isn't it? Yeah. ChatGPT. But we're going to demystify the semantics around AI and make it people understand. Okay, that's what it means. So then, when you're informed, you can ask a better question in that. So yeah, I expect a load of scaffolders are going to come to the event now. After
that's a brilliant idea. We got to build that. That's amazing.
Do you know what? I just thought that's a great idea, isn't it?
So you've talked about the scaffolding. I've talked about the house. The scaffolding around the house. That's brilliant.
It is. So can I ask Sachin a question? Yeah. So you talk. How soon did you have this attitude? Oh no, AI is there. It's going to replace my job. To no, this is great. I'm adapt it.
So I've always had an open mindset, open heart. Say, you know what? Things are changing and they're changing fast. I can't just not move around and adapt, because if I don't, I'm going to be left behind. Because ultimately, running a business is great. Like everyone wants to run a business and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm gonna have all this free time. In reality, you work more harder than you do actually working for somebody. So it's like, I just want to design. That's all I want to do. I just love creating brands, but I've got to do all this other stuff. So I thought, actually, this is making my workflows better. This is actually saving me time. And I can actually then do the things I love the most, is actually creating and helping the clients get the ideas out quicker. Like, as an example, training videos. To do a training video for your company or your employees, you got to hire a video production artist, blah, blah, blah. It'll take absolute ages to get this done. You can actually create a training video in AI now, change the voice to a thing, and it just tells you how to do all of this stuff. And you just send it out to your employees, and it's just internal content.
Exactly. The other thing about is AI is not the answer per se, it's enabler. Now think about this. We could have done this on Zoom, right? Using AI and all the rest of it. You could be asking questions and then you feed it somewhere and I answer the question. But there's something about what I call pushing the flesh, right? There's a human connection, right? Something that happens. That's why this event we're doing, we could have done it on Zoom. We could have done it as a conference call. But why are they more events? Because people, we went through lockdown, and the thing that people are craving when we come out of lockdown is that human connection, right? Because we could do everything. Yeah, it gave us some things about, we can actually do business on Zoom, but that won't never be lost. And the great thing with AI, this is my premise. And in the book I wrote, Humanity's Edge, is that my premise is that AI will bring humanity back together, because AI will do a lot of the heavy lifting. Once you understand, it will do the heavy lifting. It allows us to communicate, to what I call go back around the campfire, to strategize, to brainstorm, to connect. And then AI does the heavy lifting, if you like. Yes, look, in everything, and you know this more than anything from a security point of view, everything that's new in the world, there's good and bad. Right, when social media come out, there's yin and yang. Yeah. What fascinates me is, are these hackers sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, wicked! Look at these AI tools. We're going to screw these people." Is that what they're thinking?
Well, look, as you know, Beju, my job is to think like a hacker. All right, and
is that what they're thinking? They're thinking, yeah. They don't think they've got a sweet shop.
It's their payday. It's their payday. Wow. And what really worries me today is that there's lots of children getting into data science and going down the route of ethical hacking, and what worries me is the money that can be actually gained from not doing it ethically is a minefield, and it's an attractor. So I think from my perspective, we at Cybersea, we're trying to educate individuals and businesses of all sizes to understand, if you can understand that invisible risk around educating yourself around what are you really trying to do, all the amazing stuff that you both are talking about, and to kind of layer it with the kind of sensible approach, like how you build a house. If you wanted to build a house, you get the foundations right, and obviously you put your scaffolding up there as well, obviously as well. You put your scaffolding up, and then you safeguard it. You put like proper double glazing, triple glazing in there, and So for me, it's the same thing. You build foundation up, making sure that you've got your use cases correct, and making sure that you're not giving that data and sending it out to the ether. And that's what I see daily. And you're playing into the hands of these hackers who are, waiting.
They're waiting. So we've got to be one step ahead.
Yeah. So everybody's watched Star Wars, right? I'm a massive fan. Don't go back to the movie again. And the way you explained it, I'll put this in my simplest form, is you've got the Force and you've got the dark side. And that's as simple as, this is the kind of world we're living in right now. You're either going to go on the Force, or you're going to go to the dark side. And that's where the cybersecurity plays and comes in.
And Sachin, you're absolutely right. I mean, what we do is we unearth information and we educate people around using the word dark, the dark web. This is where we, in a safe manner, interrogate the dark web, and we actually unearth all this information that's actually out there for our clients as well. And it's scary stuff. It really is scary stuff. Right back to what you were saying, Veena. People using it for like therapy, and they're a personal coach, and how much weight am I going to lose, and all that kind of stuff as well. And the amount of personal information, voice recordings as well.
Never, sorry to interrupt, never ever put your voice into an AI model.
I totally agree.
Because you could be getting one of your relatives get a phone call, and it could sound exactly like you, and they'll fall into it. So that's why. So obviously, when you've got people, actors and stuff like that, there's the people in the celebrity world. That's easy to do. They can just rip a film and do it that way. But you personally, never ever put your voice into any AI.
I think the reality is, Sachin, it's too late.
Yeah.
We've done it already.
Yeah.
How many times, I've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people have done that. But then what it is now, it's about, like I say, it's that taking stock. And this is about becoming aware, cyber aware, AI aware, in terms of what your invisible risk is, and to be able to understand how much of my data is actually out there.
Yeah. So on that, we send voice notes on WhatsApp, right? We might be just extending voice notes, right? So if someone hacks WhatsApp, there's our voice there. Is it the same principle? They could take that.
Thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Because you got to remember, like WhatsApp, they say they've got encrypted or whatever it is. But as soon as someone finds a back door to it, it's simple. Like as in like a WordPress website, right? It's an open source platform. You can build your own widgets in there. But if those widgets aren't up to date with the main WordPress platform, you now got a back door for a hacker to get into the site. And then this is the thing people don't seem to realize, is when it comes to online, people aren't hacking a website because you're selling online. They're just hacking the website because they want other people to go on the website and then put this software on the computer to then hack into it.
And it's about pragmatic advice that we're going to give to the individuals who attend the workshop. But it's about kind of, simple things like, if you've got your Alexas or Google Homes, etc. It's about going into the privacy and security settings and going in there and just switching voice recording off. Yeah. And more to your point, if you don't do simple things like that we're going to be talking about on the day, then your voice is going to be out there.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know how to do that, that's where you go on ChatGPT and say, can you help me to turn off my privacy settings on Alexa or whatever it is, because that's the way search is changing. So ChatGPT, as an example, especially if you're selling online, they're going to be rolling out buying directly from the platform. Obviously, you still need a Shopify website to connect it, but that's how search is changing. Travel agents, people are using these AI systems now to say, I'm going to Marrakesh. Can you organize my holiday for me and tell me where to go? And
sorry to interrupt you, before you do that as well, go through that governance. Just make sure that you're putting that data out there in that safe and compliant way. And little things like, just making sure, the free tools that we're using out there, be careful what you're putting out there.
And if you're going to be doing that as a travel agent, don't actually put down, this is my flight number, I'm leaving in this state, and I live at this address. Oh, God, obviously, just keep it real top level, because it's just you're getting the information that you require, and it saves you from going on to these search engines like Google and so on. Like, people are actually saying SEO is dead. It's not. It's just you still got to do it, but you got to do now the SEO into the AI platforms as well.
SEO and GEO, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've got an example of that. So with our clinic, someone just wanted to know the process of removing a tattoo. And then ChatGPT said, do you want someone near you? And she booked in with us. And that was through Beju's tech company.
Yeah.
And we got a client.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well is this is why I'm actually going to be on here is going to be as part of this seminar as well, is people don't understand that this change is coming so quick that people that were doing natural marketing on Google AdWords and SEO and Google and Bing and so on, their ranking's starting to drop. I'm already seeing it. And you can see this in the hospitality sector, especially because they're not being found. And if you go in, let's say you're in Piccadilly Circus and you say, "Oh, find me somewhere to stay in Piccadilly Circus." If your website or your accommodation isn't ranked in there, they're going to just book straight from there and look at all the reviews from that platform. They're not going to go to Google. And we're talking about this generation alpha this is the way they live their life now. And even with my kids, the teachers are saying, go on ChatGPT and figure it out. And even as a parent, when my kids are doing algebra, I'm like, oh my God, I actually don't understand this. I'm actually going to these models now to just explain how it works, or because I've forgotten. So this is how everything is changing, and we have to do, and we can't be scared of it, because one of the most important things is what you're going to learn from this workshop is actually, what do I need to use now and build upon, but don't just jump on a bandwagon because this advert on Instagram has told you this is the best tool. A project management system, there's thousands of it. As a business owner, what project system am I going to use? And then you might end up doing research for a whole year and still not implementing it. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to teach you.
I think, that's a brief summary of all our sort of inputs and expertise in the event. So,
And what can people expect after the event? What if people still need support?
so we're going to run, we're launching a sort of 7-month program after that. So there'll be more details on that day, because look, there's going to be a lot of free for support because we're all available, right? We're going to create an infrastructure around this. So this is our first event. The thing is, right, when you think about AI, it's relatively new still, right? So we couldn't have put this event together even last year because we weren't even in the know. So it's really exciting. We're expecting about 60, 70 people there, central London. If you go to the website, www.scaleyourgame.com, all the details on there. There's an early bird ticket. Again, depending on when you're watching this. You might be watching this in April, the event's over, but still check out that website because the date of the next event will be available on that website as well.
Thank you.
You don't need to say www. anymore. That's like really
See? What?
That's
okay, just scaleyourgame.com.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not W, it's HTT, whatever. Scaleyourgame.com.
Yeah.
Scaleyourgame.com.
That's a pet hate when I'm doing artwork and everyone's like, oh, can you put www? So you don't need to do that. We're not in 95 anymore. Everybody knows what a website address is.
Well, you say that. A lot of people may not.
Yeah.
I get that. But yeah, scaleyourgame.com.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Anything else you want to add?
It's good.
Oh, I want to add this. Okay. All right. Because I love to talk. All right. One thing that you said, education. So I read this book by James W. Keyes. And one thing that we don't do anymore after university, if you've been there, is we stop learning because we think we know everything. You got to keep learning. You got to keep moving the needle forward, because the moment you stop learning is the moment someone else is going to be better than you. And especially if you're running your own business, remember there's someone else trying to implement exactly what you're doing at the same time. They might even be your direct competitor. So it's all about winning at the game, but doing it the right way.
I'll finish with this. Go on, you go.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, just to reinforce what Sachin's talking about as well, and that education's so key as well. And going back to the implementation of AI, whatever you're implementing, making sure that you've put in the graft of 3, 4, 6 months of education around really being clear on what you're implementing. All right, so letting that agent into your home, into your digital home, there can be consequences, and we see it all the time. So that education is going to help you to implement something in a safe, secure way, and you're going to be able to protect yourself, your family, and your business that way as well.
And I'd like to finish off with this. We know what we know. So we know stuff, right? Around beauty and podcasting and branding and security. And we know what we don't know. And there's a lot of people where we asking the questions, I don't know about how to use this, how to use that, which is great. So you know what question to ask. But there's another area where we fail to really grasp. We don't know what we don't know. And part of this event is for you to start to be exposed to a load of questions, a load of answers, a load of infrastructure that you didn't even know existed that will give you another perspective on not on AI, on security, on how you adopt your business and leadership.
Thank you. So I think all the founders need to be buying a ticket.
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely.
And if they miss the one in March, they're going to be regular.
Just go to the website without W's.
GoYourGame.com. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.